hello. Welcome in. Hello. Let me pull this up on my computer as well. It is hot out here. I'm on my deck. And let's see. Oh, wait. Gotta turn my volume off. Okay. I always forget to turn my volume off. That's okay. I decided to come out here and have breakfast on my deck. So I brought you guys with me. I am having bagel and cream cheese, and these are blueberries and strawberries from my garden. Yes, I grew those. So I'm gonna wait for some more people to come in, but I'm gonna start eating right now. I got my coffee over here. I got my water over here. So I'm good. I'm good. Get a napkin. Yes. Hey, Bree. Good morning. How are you doing? Hello. How are you? So good to see you this morning. I'm just sitting here eating breakfast, so I thought I'd hop on because I never go live over here too much. Hey, hello. Good morning, Jennifer. Hello, how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Hey, Edward. Welcome in. Thanks for coming. Hey, Beverly. Hello. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. I've been watching your videos, though. Beverly. I have been watching them. Yes. I'm good. Oh, I hope those chances are like 100%. All right, Beverly. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I am just sitting here having breakfast. I'm having a bagel with cream cheese and some blueberries and strawberries from my garden. So y'all know I'm happy. These blueberries are so sweet. They are so sweet. And I got my coffee over here. So I am happy wappy. Got my water over here. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you. Well, it ain't nothing I really cook, so I can't take too much credit. I did not make the bagel from scratch. I bought the bagel. I bought the cream cheese. I just toasted the bagel. But I did grow the blueberries and the strawberries. hmm Yes. I hope everybody's having a wonderful Saturday. Yes. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look that up, Bree. I'm not familiar with that too much. I am not too familiar with that. So how are you doing, Edward and Jennifer? How are you all doing? So glad you stopped in. I just hopped on, so I didn't really post it or anything too much. I'm sorry. Y'all saw me turn around like that? In my peripheral vision, I could see something behind me. And as I turned, it got closer. As I turned, it got closer and closer. And it looked like it was a squirrel or something sitting on the banister right behind me. But what it was, if you all can see that like dip in the greenery back there, for some reason the shadow makes it look like it's up close. I know, right? I'm like, I was getting ready to leave y'all right here. I was getting ready to go in the house if it was something that close to me on my banister. Mm-hmm. And I had to look, and I don't know why. I heard a weird noise. I know you all can hear my background noise. All that noise, all in the woods. And that never stops. You know how birds, it's like at night they don't sing. These birds sing at night. They sing in the morning. They sing all day long. It sounds like this 24/7. It never stops. It never stops. Yeah, especially since we have bears and coyotes, so I am bears. Beverly, you living in the mountains? Bears? Now I've seen coyotes before. In fact, we could get foxes that come and live back here in the woods sometimes, and then they come and try to come all over the place. Bears? Are you in the mountains, Beverly? Oh my goodness. Yes. Hey, Lisa D. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you doing, Lisa D? Hey, beautifully. How are you doing? How are you doing? Did somebody else come in that I missed? I don't want to miss anybody. Y'all know how I am about speaking. I gotta speak to everybody. Yes. Okay. I got everybody. Yes. How are you all doing? I am just sitting here having my bagel and my blueberries and strawberries from my garden. So I thought I'll bring you on too. All right, Bree. I would say enjoy the staff meeting, but enjoy the staff meeting. Yes, 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 yes. Lisa says, let's see, waiting for it to come up on my computer so I can see it. Lisa says, when I lived in upstate New York, we had bears too. I was, oh my goodness, I would never go outside. Really? Do they come out at any particular time, like evening, like as long as it's in the middle of the day, you're okay, or if it's morning? Do they come out? I mean, have you ever really seen one close up and in personal? Oh my goodness. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Beverly, Lisa, y'all got some guts because I don't think I could live anywhere where I actually had to be on the lookout for bears. No, no, no. And Beverly, I've seen some of those videos you've shown. Your yard is so beautiful and lush. I would never get to enjoy it because I'd never be outside. I'm looking over my shoulder now for a squirrel. A bear? Really? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I couldn't do that. I could not do that at all. In Tennessee. Okay, yes. Oh my goodness, Beverly. I had no clue. I love my squirrels. I'm scared of everything. I'm scared if it moves. Y'all should have seen me. Was it yesterday? Yesterday or the other evening? I was, Lisa says they come out anytime they were hungry. I saw one walking down my street like he owned the block. I had to run in my car. Oh my goodness. Wow. It is no way. I would be scared, scared, scared when they hungry, huh? Oh, child, they'll eat you. mm, mm, mm. I know, right? Mm, I couldn't do it. One of the reasons I moved it to, I know that's right, Lisa. I don't, if it's not in the zoo, I don't want to see no bears. I do not want to see any bears. The other day, I was out here in my garden. I have this tote that I keep all of my supplies in that I use every time I come out to the garden. I opened the tote. Let me tell you, I opened the tote, and I'm in North Carolina, Zone 7B. Well, I keep saying Zone 7. I'm so used to talking to the gardening community because I go live over there every week. So I'm so used to talking to them, talking about Zone 7B. You like, what's Zone 7B? I'm in North Carolina. But I was outside the other day in my tote that I keep all my gardening supplies in, and I opened it up, and there was this huge spider in there. I know my neighbor said, "What is she doing now?" I started screaming, and I was on the phone with a friend, and she was like, "What's wrong?" And I told her, I said, "It's a spider in my tote." I said, "I got to get it out." And she was like, "Can't you spray it with water?" I said, "No, all my supplies in here. I even got some soil in here. I can't spray it with water. I got to get it out because I can't stick my hand down in there with the spider." And then it moved, and I'm like, "Oh my God." So I got a stick, and I was trying to move stuff around so I could see it move. It never moved. My gloves were in there. So I took my gloves out, and I said, "I hope this thing didn't go in my gloves." Sure enough, it had gone in my glove. Child, I threw the glove on the ground per the friend. She said, "Throw the glove on the ground and stump on it, girl." I threw the glove on the ground, stumped on it, stumped on it, stumped on it. Do you know, it did not die. I stumped on it, stumped on it, stumped on it. It did not die. I thought it was dead, and I was going to then get my glove cleaned out. She said, "Take the middle finger of the glove and just shake it," because she's a real good gardener, so she used to stuff like that. Take the middle of the glove and shake it. I shook it. Do you know the spider jumped out on the ground and started crawling? I was like, what kind of spider is this? So yes, I'm a scaredy cat. I am. I'm scared. OMG, I would have died. I'm scared of everything too. I mean, me too, Lisa. That's why on my other channel, I call myself the Scaredy Cat Gardener because I'm literally scared of everything. I'm out here trying to garden, child. When these little blueberries I harvested, I got these off my blueberry bush this morning. And deep down in there, I saw two more ripe blueberries. I said, I got to get these blueberries. But it was like a web was down there. So I like had to get a stick, try to get the web. Anybody else probably would just put their glove on and mushed it out the way. I'm like, not me. Yes, we just started having groundhogs last year. Really? Mm. We have foxes that come out of these woods. These woods, y'all look at, y'all think they pretty. Child, at night, it's like lions and tigers and bears. At night, all of a sudden, if you get quiet in the house, like say the TV's not on, you just kind of reading or something, you hear these noises, these weird noises. Almost sound like a child screaming sometimes. That's those foxes back there. I'm like, child, I don't go, if I met, oh, and yesterday, I have seen snakes in my garden shed. Dr. Carr, hey, Dr. Carr, hello, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Because I don't blame you. I know. I haven't seen, and I have seen snakes in this yard, but I haven't seen any. And that's another reason why I don't garden in the yard because it's scary. It's scary. Mm. So I don't be trusting nothing out here. It's like, I don't know how I do it sometimes, just trying to garden a little bit. I get scared. I know, but the bears, oh, that's what I was getting ready to say. The other night, yesterday, yesterday, she said I was running. I know you would be, Beverly. Yesterday, I I must have been totally exhausted because I sat down and I try to come out like right around 8:15 before it gets dark at all, but the sun is completely gone to water my garden. And it had been so hot, so humid. I mean, it was just terribly hot and humid. And so I knew they needed some water, but I didn't make it out. I sat down and I fell asleep. I woke up and I was like, I had slept so hard, sitting up on the couch. I had slept so hard that I woke up a little disoriented. And I was like, is it night? What am I? I was sleeping hard. And I was like, oh my God. And it was just too dark for me to come out here. I could still see, but I got to go around the side of my house between two big giant bushes just to get my hose. I would need a flashlight. I said, oh my God, I forgot to water my garden. I said, them poor little plants gonna be dead in the morning. It's so hot out there. I said, Lord have mercy. And when I said, Lord have mercy, thunder started rolling. I was like, thank you. I mean, thunder just, as soon as I said that, thunder rolled. And it rained, it rained, it rained. And so, that rainwater was better than any water I could have ever provided. Mm-hmm. I went to garden. Me too, Lisa. But you know what? As much as you cook, it is nothing like having your own. Hey, Angela. So good to see you. How you doing? The herbs, it's worth it, Lisa. I am scared. You should see some of those videos on my other channel where I'm just scared of everything. But when you have never cooked with the herbs out of your own garden, where you come outside and you come get you some rosemary, you come get you some oregano, and you cook it, you come get you some thyme. Lisa, if you think your food tastes good now, child, let me tell you, it is well worth it. So that's why I also garden in containers only. I don't garden in the yard because I'm too scared of the dirt and I don't want to be digging around. I don't want to be crawling around down there. Everything I have is in a container and it's on my deck. So Lisa, you ain't really, and I use soil, I use gloves. So I don't have too many pests because I am in the garden. I am in containers. And Lisa, if nothing else, you should grow some herbs on your kitchen counter. Most herbs that you can grow outside, you can grow inside on your kitchen counter. Just try it, and when you taste it, you're gonna want to grow something else. So yes, okay, yes, just grow. Just get a small little cute. Get some small little cute flower pots, and your favorite herbs. I don't know what that is, but just like mine is rosemary, thyme, and oregano. I got those out there. Just grow those, and then pinch off of them when you cook, and see what you like, and go from there. Yeah, living beautiful. Try it. Try it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Um, I've never had gnats in my herbs. Certain things will produce it, but I've never had them from my herbs. Never. Oh, do you, Lisa? Those are my three favorite. And I love basil, but for some reason, I haven't been able to grow basil in my garden, in my containers. I'm doing something wrong. I have to, because everything else is growing. Pandy, how are you? How are you? Thanks for coming in, Pandy. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. I love basil. I have not been able to grow it. I don't know what's wrong or why, but I got some out there now that's struggling. I can't seem to get it going. Oh, and another thing, Lisa, the good thing about herbs is or either get one big pot. I don't know if you have a porch, a balcony, a patio, or anything outside, like right outside your door, that you can grow it on, be it the front or the back, because they're beautiful. If you get one large pot, you can grow all three of those herbs in one pot, and it'll be outside if you're really worried about gnats, right outside the door. So you don't have to worry about being scared of nothing or anything else. Try that. And you got to let me know how it goes too. You should try that too. Living beautifully. You should try that too. I know Beverly Black. She got a garden. I think it's mostly flowers, but I know she got a garden because I've seen it before. Edward's growing stuff too. Pandy, I know Pandy. You said you wanted to grow something. Did you ever start growing anything? I know one time you said you wanted to grow some stuff. Yes. I have a backyard, one pot. I think I'm gonna try that. You gotta teach me though. You know what, Lisa? You should make sure you connect to me over on my other channel, which is Container Crops. That's where I do all my gardening at. So you'll get a lot. You'll see me harvesting. You'll see me replanting. You'll see me things that didn't work. You'll see all of it. I don't hardly do any cooking over there. I may cook something I grow every now and then, but not very much. So yeah, I'll help you, girl. And you can always, Lisa, you can always message me. Anybody can always message me on IG. Always, if you got a question, and especially if you ask it on a video and I don't get to it fast enough, message me on IG. I typically don't have any of my social media notifications coming to my phone like as soon as it happens, but because I have the little IG icon, anytime somebody leaves me a message, it'll say one or two or something. I'll know, okay, somebody said something, let me go look. Because I don't like the ding, ding, ding all day long. Hey, Veggie fan. How you doing, Veggie Farm? Yes, no, not yet. Come on, Pandy. You got to get at least one pot. Yes, I love gardens and gardening, but I live in D.C., and D.C. has too many rodents. I'm going to tell you something. It's a Y'all see the greenery behind me. There is a creek in those greeneries. And child, they run rapid. Okay? Peppermint oil. Peppermint oil, peppermint oil, peppermint oil. And put them in the containers, and you can take not the peppermint oil that's for aroma, but 100% 100% essential peppermint oil. All I do is, like, it's dry out here. When I finish and I go out here and do what I do in my garden, when I finish, I take the peppermint oil and I take it and I just dot it around the edge of each of my pots. When it rains heavy like it did last night, then I'll come out here and do it again. Essential peppermint oil is not, and you can also dilute it if you want to spray more around the area. As soon as they see that stuff, anything in the rodent family, squirrels, anything, they don't come on my deck no more. They don't come at all because every time it's peppermint oil. They cannot stand that. 100% peppermint oil. You won't have them at your garden. Yes, ma'am. Cooking at Pam's Place. Um, that's my IG. Cooking at Pam's Place. Lisa. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, put it around the pots. Like, even if the pots don't have a lip, like, thank you, Pandy, thank you. You know how some pots have like a little edge, like a little flat edge that goes around. You could put it on that. If it doesn't have the flat edge, still put it on the edge. Just let it run down. But you're not putting that much. It's just a drop, like on four sides. A drop on this side, drop on this side, drop on that side, drop on. You don't need much, because it's also expensive. It's like for a little bitty bottle of that stuff, it's like $6. If you're using it all the time, it can get expensive. But at the end of the day, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. Mm. Lisa, 100% peppermint oil. It works. People that also have a problem with them in their house, that have crawl spaces, they literally, you can put like cotton balls in a like a nylon stocking or something, soak them in that peppermint essential oil, and go hang them up under your house. If you got a crawl space that's high enough that you can get in there, and hang them on underneath the house, they ain't coming in. They ain't coming in. You can also use in your garden, in your house, anywhere else. You can also use peppermint tea. Tea bags, regular tea bags. Maybe 24 might cost you $2 or $3. And what you want to do is brew it so you can activate it, and then take the wet tea bags and place them around. You can place them in your garden. I've done that. If I run out of the essential oil, I always got tea because I love tea. Another thing you can do is, now that's what I'm doing next year, because it does get expensive and I'm trying to expand my garden. Um, yes, I have about 100% peppermint oil. I just didn't know how to put it around. Yes, good idea. Yes, another thing um, that I'm going to do next year is I'm going to grow a lot of peppermint. I'm going to grow small containers of peppermint so that I can sit a container here and a container there, because the aroma is still going to, thanks, Pandy. The aroma is still, that's what they're after. They don't eat it or taste it or anything, but it's the aroma. So I'm going to grow peppermint, and I probably still will dot it around just to be sure, because I can't stand that either. Yes, yes, I'm gonna grow some peppermint. I don't personally like peppermint. I like spearmint. If I'm going to eat a mint, I like the peppermints that are the dinner mints, but just right, the candy that's peppermint. That's one more thing you can do. You're welcome, Beverly. There's one more thing that you can do that works too. I personally do not think it works as well as the peppermint essential oil, but in a pinch, if you run out or something, it works. This is even cheaper because you can get it at the dollar store or Walmart. Original, um, original Irish Spring soap, bath soap, original Irish Spring soap. What I do is I take the bar of soap and I take a potato peeler. You can do it with a knife or anything, but you just want to scrape off some shavings and let it. It doesn't hurt your plants. It's not gonna hurt the soil. It's not gonna do anything. But they don't like the scent, so it keeps a lot of pests around. Also, too, if you are gardening and you're just starting out, like Lisa, how you say you're scared of everything like I am. Another thing that works tremendously well for regular pests, just bugs and things that would be in your garden soil, is garlic. You can buy a bulb of garlic in the, let me see what this says. Penny says, I know I came in late, but did you say this gets rid of gnats, fruit flies? No, I did not say it gets rid of gnats and fruit flies, but what does get rid of gnats and fruit flies is apple cider vinegar. If you have a plant or something that, or they got in your house some kind of way, take a cap, um, or not a cap, like a top that will go on a jar, like a jelly jar size top, a good size top, and fill it up with apple cider vinegar. You can do this in more places than one, and sit them around. They, the gnats love the scent. They love apple cider vinegar. So if you sit this around, they come to it. But then when they get to it, they drown. So you put it out at night. The next morning you come down, you got a cup full of gnats. Do that for a few days, and they gone. They gone. You know, they gone. Mm. Because the one thing I think everybody has a hey glamorous life. Hello, hello. Thank you so much. OMG, I'm so happy getting. Yes, you are so welcome. Living beautifully. Mm-hmm. Apple cider vinegar. It works. Yep, that apple cider vinegar really works. See, Living Beautifully said the same thing. It really works. It does. It does. Mm. Because one thing about the nuts is that I have found a problem with is when I buy fruit from the store or I buy a bag of something from the store and bring it home and they're in there from the store. It's so annoying because it's like you have done everything you can to keep your space clear and then you just go buy some bananas or whatever and here they come. Child, that drives me up a creek. But then sit that apple cider vinegar, and it doesn't have to be any kind of apple cider vinegar. Get the apple cider vinegar from the dollar store. It doesn't have to be Bragg's, the expensive one or anything, because I drink the Bragg, so I'm not putting it out for the Nets. But it works. It really, really works. And I was going to say something else. I can't remember what it was. I was going to say something about, oh, the Irish Spring soap. It works, and you don't need a lot of it. You can just, like, if you're using a potato peeler, um, you know, 1, 2, 3 in your flower bed or in your garden bed, whatever you're gardening in. They don't like the scent, so they ain't coming. And I have used everything, you know, to keep. Oh, I think I was talking about the garlic. I wasn't talking about that. I had talked about that. Thank you, Pandy. Um, you can get a bulb of garlic from the grocery store. And I like this so much because it's twofold. Just go to the store and look through the garlic, buy the biggest, best looking piece of garlic you can. If you can find um, organic, get organic, get the bulb. Depending on how many pots you need, I need like 4 or 5 bulbs for all these pots I got down here. But if you just have like one pot, get the garlic. If you grow anything, it doesn't matter what you're growing. Take the garlic and take the cloves apart, okay? You don't have to take the paper off of each clove, but you can. I do, just because I just feel some kind of way about the paper. But take the paper off of the cloves, the garlic. Say you have one pot, okay? You want to take 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. And all you want to do is the pointy side, with the pointy side up and the fat side down, push it down into the soil around the edges of your pot. Okay? It's twofold. Pests, spiders, mites, this, that, and the other that would typically come don't like the smell. So it keeps the pests down. But likewise, the garlic is going to grow. And you're going to have some garlic eventually. Now, it takes garlic a long time to grow. So you'll see the stems coming up. Don't pull it up. Just leave it there. How big? Any size pot. But if you have a small pot, then just put maybe 2 cloves of garlic. If you have a big pot, maybe put 6 or 8 cloves of garlic. But put it around the edge so that it won't intertwine with whatever you're actually growing in the pot. And that works for even flowers, any kind of pot, any kind of anything. It keeps the pests down. And like I said, it's twofold. You're growing garlic too. So yes. So it doesn't. Swamp picker. I answered your question, but I didn't speak, so I gotta speak. How you doing? How you doing? Thank you for coming in. Yes, and thank you for. Yes, you are so welcome, Glamorous. So refreshing to wake up this morning, catch you on live. I need some. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I keep saying I need to go live over here more like I used to, but for some reason, and you all tell me in the stream, this is a good time. Um, this is a good time to me to ask this question. Sometimes I want to come on live, but I always feel like on this particular channel, if I'm coming on live, I need to be cooking. And so maybe I have a misconception about that. Maybe I can just come on live and chat with you all, and I don't always have to be cooking when I come on live. So let me know if feel like I should be cooking, if I should be cooking when I'm on live or chatting like this is just fine. Yes. All right, living beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes. Hey, lady smooth. Hello, hello, hello. Glamorous, I enjoy when you cook and the chats. That means I need to break it up. And I'm actually eating strawberries and blueberries that I grew in my own garden. Yeah. I went out there and got something to eat this morning. Yes. But I encourage everybody, if you all are cooking anything, and I think everybody cooks something sometime, because we can't eat out all the time. We either get sick of eating out, it becomes too expensive, or with other things going on in the world, we just don't feel like we should be doing that. Pandy says we definitely enjoy the conversations. It's fantastic. So maybe I should do both. Sometimes I cook, sometimes I chat. Having props helps. Don't have to always be cooking. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. That's good. Thanks, Swamp Picker. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I think that if you anybody, and I learned this the hard way. What happened was, I just think that as I started getting older, I felt like, and I had some time, I said, you know what, maybe I should try growing some herbs. Um, I was going to grow them on my counter in a small container. My husband had a problem with that. He was like, you ain't growing that stuff in here. So I'm like, okay. So anybody has ever watched my other channel knows at the end of my videos, I always say, anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant. Because when he said that to me, I said, okay, well, fine. I'll go outside because anywhere I can sit this pot, I can grow the plant. And that's where that came from. But in doing so, all I wanted to do was grow some herbs. I didn't want a garden. Oh, excuse me. I just wanted herbs. So the first herb I grew was rosemary because I just love the scent of rosemary. And then one day, after the rosemary started growing, Lisa's cracking up, I cooked a steak. And I have a video of that on this channel. I cooked a steak. And the day I cooked the steak, I said, you know what? I need to go out here and get some of my rosemary. And so I could put some butter and garlic and rosemary in the skillet to baste my steak with as I was cooking. So I came out here, I got four sprigs, not too longer than my finger, maybe a little bit longer than my finger, four sprigs of rosemary. And I came back in the house, I washed them off, and I set them on the cutting board because I wasn't quite ready. I hadn't actually started cooking the steak yet, so I wasn't quite ready to use them. I sat them on the cutting board. And my husband came down the steps, and he says, what is that I smell? I'm like, I don't know. What is it? What does it smell like? I don't want to know what you smell. What does it smell like? He says, it's like Christmas in here. It's like a Christmas tree or something. What are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Well, I don't know. And it didn't dawn on me. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? You must be smelling my rosemary. He said, your rosemary? I said, yeah, my pot outside. I got some rosemary. I'm getting ready to cook some steak. And I went out there and got some rosemary. Here it is. It had lit up the whole house, just those four sprigs. And I had smelled it, but, I guess since I was using it, I didn't pay that much attention. So then, time goes on, I cook my steak, I use my rosemary. Oh my goodness. Lisa, and I can say Lisa because Lisa got a cooking channel. Anybody in here that has ever cooked a steak or anything using rosemary that you bought in the store, that you bought at a farmer's market, let me tell you, as old as I am and as long as I've been cooking, because I've been cooking for about 58 years. Yes, I have been cooking for 58 years, and I have never tasted anything like that in my life. I have been to some of the best steakhouses around. I've never tasted anything that tasted like that. I was outdone. I said, oh my goodness. And it wasn't so much that I had done something special in growing this. What I realized was, even when I buy things at the farmer's market and I think it's, oh, let me go to the farmer's market so I can get some fresh herbs. Or let me find out when the grocery store is bringing in their produce so that I can make sure I get here and get the fresh herbs. It made me realize that that's not fresh. It's not. If it was grown organically or not, you don't know that. Number two, even if it says so, we wasn't there. We don't know that. Number two, you don't know when it was harvested. Number three, you don't know what they did and how it was stored after it was harvested. Number four, you don't know how long it took them to go from seed to harvest to the farmer's market or to the store. Chances are, if you got it in a store, they had to travel. So how long did it sit in a trailer or in a hot trailer or a hot truck somewhere getting there? Even if it is at the farmer's market, how long did they have it even in their house before they brought it? Maybe they harvested on Monday and went to the farmer's market to set up on Saturday. So, but what I know is I grew it. It was still, anything that's still on its vine, its stem, is still connected to its root. It is still alive and it is still healthy. So when I got mine, it was a matter of minutes before I harvested it from being alive. See, once you cut something, it's technically dead because it doesn't have the roots anymore to continue to grow. So once you cut it and it's dead, so mine was approximately dead for 5, maybe 10 minutes before I used it. So I had the very freshest. I'm telling you, Lisa, you have got to try it. You have got to, and I keep saying Lisa because she actually has a cooking channel. You got to try it. Anybody else in here? Edward, I know you cook and you grow. You know. I know you done harvested something and tasted it. Tomatoes. You have never tasted a tomato. You know what a tomato tastes like? The tomatoes in the store do not taste like the tomatoes you grow. They don't. And all that I said applies. As far as when it was harvested, how long it took to get to market, we don't know. We don't know. Yes, you do. Glamour says it's very true. Plus, it's fun for me to check on the progress. And in the end, yes, yes. Yes, Nay. Yes, absolutely. Because these blueberries, I ate most of them. I went out there and got them this morning. I got my blueberries. I harvested these this morning. Can't get any fresh than that. Garlic. Beverly, garlic. Rosemary, butter, and garlic. After you sear your steak really well on both sides. That shouldn't take nothing but make sure your cast iron skillet is hot. It should smoke a little bit before you put that steak in there. And if you need to press it down with something, when you first put it in there, press it down. You want that crust on it. Do not put a lot of rubs on your steak if you're searing it in the skillet like that. They will burn. Just a little salt right before you go in. And that's it. Anything else you really need to sprinkle on it, but that's what the rosemary, butter, and garlic is going to do. It's going to provide the flavor that you didn't get from any rubs. Don't put nothing on that steak. It'll form a crust, but that stuff will burn while you're searing it. Flip it over one time. Sear it again. At that point, When that side is finished searing, you can turn your skillet down some, put the garlic, the butter, the rosemary in it, and baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it, baste it. And then if you want to finish cooking it off because you want it to be more, a little bit more done, I like mine medium rare. If you want it a little bit more done, put it in the oven for maybe 5 minutes, and you're done. With garlic, butter, and rosemary. Yes, what is the best vegetable to grow in a pot right now outside as we approach fall? What state are you in? Or do you know what zone you're in or what state are you in? Or fruit? Yep, exactly how I do my steaks. Yep, and they are delicious, I know. Now think, Lisa, if you had that fresh rosemary. Girl, that rosemary, the flavor on the steak was out of this world. I was like, this little rosemary did that. And I'm gonna tell you something else I do, Lisa, that I have not seen, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Is I take my herbs, and I dehydrate them, like my rosemary. I dehydrate it, and then I grind it. I grind it up a little bit so that I can just have some fresh herbs to put, dried herbs to shake in stuff. But for my rosemary, specifically, I grind it into a powder because sometimes you want the flavor, but you don't want the little sticks because they ain't gonna never break down to the point where you can really just chew them, chew them, chew them. So, and then if I'm cooking something with soups or something that's liquid or something, where it's going to be a brown color, a rich color, I've even put it in my gravy sometime because it is green and it is in powder form. It will color your food. So if you got something that you want to be a light color, you can't really use that. Hey, Auntie Mama. Hello, hello, hello. Lisa, I used to store rosemary. I didn't know I was missing out either. until, until. Listen. I'm in Maryland. Okay, you're in Maryland, so Maryland's going to get cold soon. So right now, do you like things in the brassica family, which is your cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, stuff like that? Do you like that? Do you like stuff like that? Um, hey, Sheree. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming. How are you doing? How are you doing? Um, Anything in that family because those are cool weather crops. If you can find some black radish seeds, do you like radish? Let me ask that. Let me ask that, Glamorous. Do you like radish? Um, yes, I love all of those. Any of those. And do you like radishes? Um, Let me ask you that. If you like radish, any of those. And now is the time to plant. Plant it now. Now is the time to plant. Most people that will get really cold coming up soon have planted their seeds. You love radish. Okay. Have you ever heard of black radish? Black radish. Have you ever heard of black radish? They are larger than regular radish. They are black in color and they are cold tolerant. You can grow those down to like 5 or 10 degrees Fahrenheit, maybe a little bit colder. And if I need, okay, I tell you what, if you want to email me and email me your address, I'll send you some seeds. I'll send you some black radish seeds. I have never grown them. I just found them this year. I love radish. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to grow them. They do not grow well for me, and I love them. I don't know why, but this year I'm trying these black radish since they are cold tolerant. I'm going to plant them probably at the end of this month, first week or so in September. Because like I said, we don't get that cold that quick here, so I'm praying that they will be able to grow. Um, so yes, I'll send you some black radish seeds if you like. Yes, yes. So yes, and anything in the Broskis family. Oh, thank you. let me see. I keep looking down because I have my computer here and the messages go away on the screen so quickly that I look down to see what the message was. Thank you. Can I grow them in a pot? Where can I find your email? It's cooking at Pam's Place at gmail.com. That's my email, but it's also in my About Me page. Yes, I don't grow anything in the ground. Nay, I don't grow anything in the ground. Everything I grow is I got watermelons and pumpkins out there. They're in a container. I got pumpkins out. Check out my other channel. You'll see the video. I got pumpkins. You'll see the video on the watermelons. I got watermelons out there. They are in containers. I ain't growing nothing in the ground. The only thing I'm going to grow in the ground is, like I said, we're looking to move because we want a flat yard. And I will grow some fruit trees in the ground. Maybe. Maybe. I'm debating on that. I may not. Because my philosophy is wherever I go, I'm taking my if I like when I move, I don't have to worry about, oh man, I got these beautiful fruit trees that I've grown for 5 or 6 years and now I gotta move them or do whatever. I can pick up every one of them containers. I can pick them up myself. So I know they going. I don't except for the big brown ones. I can't pick those up. But if I empty the dirt, I can. But as they stand with the plants that's in them right now, I can get every last single one of them pots out of my deck. And they can go with me and I do not have to start over. And that's my biggest reason for growing in containers. I said, as I get older, I got to go to a smaller place or wherever I go. I already told my kids, if I got to go to a home somewhere, you better make sure I got a balcony or a patio or something. I need some outside space and I need enough space for at least 10 containers so I can grow something. Yes. Hey, human. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Pandy, for putting my email in there. Thank you. Can I go to my pot? Where can I find your email? OMG, I need to check it out. Yes, yes, yes. So I don't grow anything in the ground. I don't plan to. Number one, I am scared of everything. I don't want to get down on the ground. And even though I'm growing in containers, I still have to kind of bend over to get to them. But likewise, as I even get older, and maybe I can't bend as far as I can bend now, I can get cinder blocks and put the pots up on top of those. They can still be elevated. If you grow on the ground is the ground, and you can't get it no higher. Raised beds are good if they're raised high enough. If I'm going to grow anything in the ground, it would be in a raised bed. Because a raised bed, the only thing a raised bed is you're still using your ground, the soil in your ground. A raised bed has 4 sides to it, and it has no bottom. So you get something that's, really tall, or say up to waist high. You build your 4 walls for your raised bed, and then you fill it up to dirt up to that height. So there's no bending, there's no anything, but you're still using your soil. And so your roots, when you have something that like a tree, and you put a tree in a raised bed, it's still going. The roots can still go all the way down to the ground and spread out as far as they need to spread out in order to grow. So that's the benefit of a raised bed, but you still can't take it with you. And you can break it down, but you have to start over because whatever it is attached down in the ground. All right, Lisa, thank you so much for being here. Let me know when you start that plant. Connect to me over on my other channel so that you can talk to me over there about growing stuff. Okay, Nate. I'll look for that email. Okay, Nate. I have to drive now, but I'm still okay. She's still listening. Okay, that's cool. Yes. So, I don't ever plan on growing anything in the ground. I just don't. I don't. I think there's lots of benefits to it because things that do have long roots and stuff can grow long and wide if they need to, but I don't also think I'll ever need to grow. I want to grow enough food to start preserving. Now, that's the one thing that I haven't done yet. I haven't grown enough food at one time to start preserving. I'm getting a lot of tomatoes, but all the tomatoes that I'm getting, like I want to preserve that for like pesto and pasta sauces and tomato paste. I want to make that and preserve it. But you got to have a lot of tomatoes at one time in order to do that. And all the tomatoes that I have been growing thus far have been indeterminate tomatoes, which means they just grow all season. You get a handful, you get a handful. I go out here every day and I get 5, 6, 7 tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes. I got some German queen tomatoes. But next year, I will still grow my cherry tomatoes because I do love being able to go out here every day and grab a handful for my salad or to cook with or for whatever I want that day, or to get one big tomato and I got it, I'm make me a burger and put some tomatoes on it. I do like doing that. So I will grow two kinds of tomatoes next year that are indeterminate. One will definitely be cherry tomatoes because I just like to eat those. I just eat them, put them in, just eat them like I'm sitting here eating these blueberries. But I am going to grow a, a variety of determinate tomatoes, and I haven't decided what variety it is, but it will be a nice big plump red variety that I grow that'll be determinate, because what determinate does is they all grow at one time. They all, like within days, like same week, they're going to all flower and they're going to all come out. They're going to all grow. They're going to all turn ripe at the same time. That's what you see when you see people go outside and they get all these tomatoes. They got this big old container and they're like, I'm going to harvest my tomatoes. And they come back, they got a big old bushel of tomatoes. They have grown determinate tomatoes. So I'm going to grow as much fruit, and not fruit, well, tomatoes are fruit, but as much fruits and vegetables that I can that are determinate varieties so that I can preserve it. That, and I'm making sure that the herbs I grow are perennial, which means they're coming back year after year. Rosemary, I've had this rosemary for 3 years. Oregano, I've had for 3 years. The thyme, I've had for 2 years. It's gonna, as long as I take care of it, it's gonna keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. I ain't gotta replant it. I ain't gotta do nothing. All I gotta do is maintain it. And I want as much perennial food as possible. My blueberry is perennial. I want as much perennial as possible. So eventually, I only have to have a small section that I'm replanting every year. I was successful growing my tomatoes. I tried to grow peppers and lavender, but they failed. I went out and watered them like I was supposed to. You know what? Sometimes things just don't grow. Last year, I had cayenne pepper coming out the yin yang. I didn't think to make hot sauce out of it. I just used it as I was cooking. I dehydrated some, and I, used it for like red pepper flakes and red pepper. I wasn't even thinking about hot sauce, but next year I'm going to try to grow enough different varieties of hot not tomatoes, peppers, so that I can. Hey, James, hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming. How are you doing? I guess I didn't have enough knowledge yet on those. You know what? You keep learning every year. I've only been gardening for 3 years, but you just learn every year. You learn something. You just keep learning. And I keep watching videos. Um, and I'm learning. I'm learning what to do, and I know, and I'm learning what I want to do. And that's really important, knowing what you want to do. Like, I want to preserve. So I know I need to grow a certain type of tomato to preserve that. I want to preserve my peppers. I want to make hot sauce out of it. Because I love hot sauce. I'm the only one in my family, but I can go to one, those small jars of Frank's hot sauce. Sure, I can go through one of those in a week. I put hot sauce on eggs. I put hot sauce on. I probably put hot sauce on these blueberries. Somebody gave me a bottle. I just love hot sauce, so I'm doing that for me. Yes, I'm doing that for me. Um, Human says I grow potatoes in a bale of hay, all kinds. See, and that's another thing. You do not have to have anything fancy to grow in. Grow bags, I have heard, are fabulous. I don't particularly use them, mostly because I'm heavy-handed and I do move my pots around. And it seems like every time I do, I rip them. So maybe I just need to buy a more better, stronger one or something. But people grow in anything, child. If it got 4 sides and you can get some holes in there for drainage, you can use just about anything to grow in. Anything, literally. Your garden is so beautiful, and making hot sauce is a great idea. I should try that. I love hot sauce myself. Me too. Me too. So next year, I know when I grow my peppers, I need to make sure I grow a variety so I can have different kinds, and I can also mix some together in my hot sauce. Um, enough. that I can preserve some. I need to at least have a dozen bottles of my own. Of my own. Yes, grow bags can be double grocery bags. Yes, that sure can. I never thought of that, human. I never thought of that. They sure can. Yes, that's amazing. That is amazing. So I want to grow, I want to preserve peppers. And then there are a lot of things that you can grow. And then a lot of people that can, like if you have freezer space, and you do grow indeterminate tomatoes, you can freeze them. And in order to freeze the tomatoes, the only thing you need to do is wash them, put them in a Ziploc bag, and stick them in the freezer. They don't need to be blanched. They don't need to be done anything. And then when you're ready to can, bring them out and you can can them. Now, I don't know anything about canning. That's the next thing I have to learn because I've never canned anything. I haven't water bath canned and I haven't pressure canned. But guess what? I'm getting ready to buy if I can. I'm trying to find them on sale or cheap or something somewhere somehow because those things are expensive. But I need to get a water bath canner. I want one really, really bad. And I really want the water bath canner because I think I'm going to have more things that I'm doing under the water bath and the pressure cooker. But eventually I want to be able to pressure cook meats and everything else. Eventually, once I learn how. Yes, also milk jugs with holes punched in the bottom are great for herbs. And and then you can move them. Yep. Anything you can put a hole in the bottom is great for herbs. Yes, it is. I'm canning while I'm listening, Pam. I got lots of tomatoes at once, but I have a large raised bed garden with lots of plants, so I get a lot. See, Cherie, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna have to look at some of your. I hope you video. I hope you have some video. I have been looking at so many different people on canning, and the one problem I'm having is that I haven't been finding consistency. So what I'm realizing is canning is kind of like cooking. Well, it is in a sense, but canning is kind of like cooking. There are certain things that you must do, but other than that, everybody typically seems to can just a little bit different. So I think that you have to find somebody that you watch, they're easy to understand, and you can follow along and use that person's method to learn to can. And just like cooking, once you get it down pat, then you can start playing with it or altering it or say, you know what, that didn't work so well, but this did. Just like gardening or just like anything else. Cuban says so many wasted items are very useful. Cardboard is also good ground cover for weeds. Yes, newspaper too. Not the kind, not the inked up pieces though. It all disintegrates and adds to the soil. Paper is just trees. Yes, so true, so true. Your canner will come with great directions. Once you learn the basics, you can play around. Yep. Well, that's what, and that's another thing, Cherie. I'm struggling. I keep going on Amazon, looking at canners, looking at canners, looking at canners. I don't have a clue of what to buy. I don't know what kind of water bath canner to buy. I don't know what kind of pressure canner to buy. It's like there's so many options, and I don't know enough about it to make a choice or say, "Oh, this is the one I want." So right now, I'm struggling with what kind to even buy. I am clueless. Just like when I started gardening, I am clueless. Yes, Beverly says I love to can, but mostly freeze. Yes, and I don't have a lot of freezer space, but I want to do both because if you lose your power and you got the things canned, then boom. Yes, Veggie Form says I'm kind of intimidated by canning. I would like to try a digital canner. Oh, see, I didn't even know they had like digital canners or anything like that. I don't think I'm necessarily intimidated by it because I use my regular pressure cooker, which is my Instapot. I use it all the time. And it's got pressure building up in it. And if you don't do right with it, things can happen. But so that part doesn't bother me. I think what bothers me is I hear so many people talking about making sure the bottles are clean and they sit for so long because something can happen, which I don't even know what it is. I just know it's bad. I don't know what it is. I can't remember what the terms are, but I know it's bad and you better do this or you better do this or it won't be edible, and make sure you do this and don't touch it. And so now that's the part that scares me, not the actual pressure part of it. Miss Pam, do you happen to have any tips on edible flowers? I do not. However, um, uh, Brampton sent me a ton of flowers, and I think most of them are edible because I was talking on my live. I looked up and she had sent me a whole like 6 or 7 or 8 packs of seeds. They're all flowers, but she was saying you need to get edible seeds. And the next thing I know, looked up, they were edible. But unfortunately, I can't pronounce any of them. And so I'm going to Google them so that I can find out what they are and if they are edible. But that is my plan for flowers because you do. That's something else I learned. I'm not a flower person. I mean, if I don't get flowers, it's like, okay. But I do realize you do need them because you do need to bring in the pollinators, and the flowers is what's mostly going to bring in those pollinators to pollinate the rest of your garden. So if I can grow edible flowers, that would be amazing, especially ones that I can use for teas because I love teas. I love all kind of teas. All right, Pandy, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Mostly we can the way our mothers did. See, that's it, Beverly. My mama didn't can. And all of my grandparents passed by the time I was 3 years old. So I didn't have grandparents that canned. My mother didn't can at all. She cooked, she didn't, she had canned goods. It wasn't a canner in our house. I didn't think she had a pressure cooker. She cooked on top of that stove, but she didn't can. So I don't have anybody in my family line that can't, and nobody that canned. So I don't have anybody that I could have learned from then or that I can go back to now. I'm out here. But now my grandbabies and my kids, if they learn from me, even though they're all grown now, but they still can learn from me or they'll see what I'm doing, especially my grandkids. But I'm out here. The fear of botulism is okay. That's what it is. That's what it is, Veggie Found. That's what it is. Oh, yes, tea is amazing. Yes. Cherie says, I've been water bath canning for about 15 years, new to pressure canning and totally addicted. Wow. See, that's what I don't understand, too. Everybody says some things can be, how do you know? And do these books tell you what can be water bath and what needs to be pressure can? How do you know what needs to be pressure can? I know meats need to be pressure can, but I mean, I'm working on that one too. Nay says, oh yes, tea is amazing. Yes, I have to have my tea. I love tea. Yes, I do. And I like all kind of tea, citrusy tea. So to be able to grow different edible flowers that I can make into my own tea, dehydrate it and make it into my own tea, that would be amazing. Cherie, how does your digital camera, how does your digital canner compare to your stovetop canner? Is it, yes, tell me that, because you know what? I think, and then I've read some things and heard some things that I don't know what's true and what's not true. I have a glass top stove, and somebody told me you can't pressure can on a glass top stove, and other people say, yes, you can, I do it every day. But I kind of like the digital one if it's electric where you can plug it up. Now that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Yes, the books tell you, your manual will tell you everything. Okay, okay, because I need that. I need that. Um, YouTube on Swap Picker, YouTube on Candy. That's what I've been doing, and I get so many different opinions that it's like, okay, who's telling the truth? Who really knows? Who's successful? So I try to look at the people that do it the most, or the people, I don't know, sometimes when you're looking at somebody doing something, you like, okay, they seem confident. Other times people be like, oh, oops, I forgot that. Oh, oops, nope, I don't know. That makes a difference too. Veggie form, yes, it's very easy. I put up one first impression video showing it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so your digital one doesn't go on the stove. It's electric, it just plugs in. Is that the digital one? Because I think I would like a digital one as opposed to the stove. Um, just because, I don't know why right now, it just sounds better for me than the stove one does. I think because I could probably adjust, make sure that the temperature rises and is adjusted more properly than I could on my stove, especially by it being an electric stove and I can't see the fire. Okay, I definitely need to get the reference books. It has to do with the accident. Yes, and it pressure cans and water bath cans and doesn't heat up the house. Oh, it does both. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look at that video. What's the name of that video? Cause I want to look at it. I want to see that can if it does both. Because you know what? If I could find one that does both, to me that's like less expensive and it's also less. I'm getting to the point that I don't have nowhere to put all these gadgets, and they're not really gadgets. I mean, I don't like little gadgets, but you know, because I do cook and I have a cooking channel, I got the Instapot, I got the crock pot, I got big pots, I got the big double electric burner, I got an electric skillet, I got a small electric burner, I got a flat top because I need those to cook on because most of the time it's hard to cook on the stove. It's really hard. I find myself doing it a lot because of only because of my cast iron skillet. I have yet to find a large flat digital single burner electric, flat top griddle, not griddle, flat top burner that's big enough for my electric and big enough for my cast iron skillet. All the burners are small, so if I cook on the burner for doing my videos, if I'm using the burner for doing my videos and I have my cast iron skillet, whatever I have in the skillet is cooking in the middle and not on the edges. So sometimes I have literally started it right there, and then I'll say, okay, we're gonna finish this up, and I'll be right back. I have to take it to my stove to really cook it, and then come back because it's the surface area. But I see other people using theirs, and I have literally asked people in the cooking community, what type of of burner are you using? Because I see it fits your cast iron skillet. You know they won't answer me. They won't even answer me. So I'm just struggling to find one, and I bought a couple and sent them back because when I got them and put my skillet on top of them, they said they was this size, but it didn't work. So I need a large one. Yes, I need a large one. Let's see. Let's see. Cherie says yes, it's electric and it pressure. Okay, you don't adjust anything. It's on. See, Cherie, I think that's what I need. I think that's what I need because I'm not for. I don't care about needing to do everything from scratch like that. Like, oh, I want to set the timer and watch the timer and do. If I got something I can press a button and it says water bath tomatoes, boom, and I can come back in an hour or whatever time. I would love that because my bottom line to that, because see, I don't consider that as necessarily cooking. Hey, Hola Joe, hello, 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 welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Um, Good morning, CC in chat. um, I don't care about all that. It's the only canning video I have up, but I have the next one coming where I show water bath results. It's by Presto. Okay, I'm gonna find it. I'll look at it. I'll look for it. Yes, my air fryer. That's another thing I have. Air fryer. I don't. I don't care for my air fryer, but I have one of the older first edition air fryers. The basket is so small. I can't cook anything in it. Now I do like cooking in the air fryer, but I don't do it very often because it takes me much longer to really cook. Even the videos I have up where I cook some in the air fryer, it took me way longer than I have just did it on the stove because I can only put 3 wings in mine. 3 wings, that's one person. That's a half a person actually, because I want more than 3 wings if I'm really gonna eat some food. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yes. Cherie says, how does your digital camera? Okay, I read that. Yes, the books. I read that. Let me go down. Let me go down. Let me go down. It's the okay. I got it. My air fryer is great. Doesn't induction work really well? Doesn't induction work really well with cast iron? It should, but I don't have anything that's induction. It should. Induction typically should work well with anything. Cast iron, stainless steel, anything, because you know when you have induction, it's cooking all around. The heat's not just coming from up or below. Yes. Hey, Matthew. I didn't speak to you. I'm answering your question, but I ain't speak to you. How you doing, Matthew? Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Yes, they may be doing the same as you off camera with the burner. You know what, Veggie Farm? I never thought of that. I never thought of that. There have been so many. Now, if I'm using my stainless steel skillet on the burners, I'm good. But that cast iron skillet, child, I got to start. I said, this ain't going to never cook. We be here for 5 hours. Or I have to move the food around constantly. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. It doesn't good morning, can they sit? They may be doing the same thing. I use the stove top for meat though. Okay. Okay, so when canning, you use your stove top for canning. You don't use your digital canner for meat. Thanks, Swamp. Thanks so much. Bye. You have a very blessed day until we meet again. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Yes. Beverly Black says, uh-oh, wait a minute. Need to go back down. Beverly Black says, I have enjoyed myself, but have... Oh, thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. Yes, so Cherie, you use your stove top for pressure cooking meat? Is that what you're saying? That's what I see. I don't know if that's what you're saying. I cannot get this piece of thing off my top, and it's driving me crazy. Oh, thank you, Ola Joe. Uh, Hi, Ola Joe. Your channel looks interesting. Her channel is interesting. Her channel is amazing. If you don't know Ola Joe, the Crochet Sailor, you're missing out. I haven't tried the digital for meat yet. Only vegetables under pressure and soups with meat in it. But I use my stovetop pressure can when canning meat alone. Okay, so what about the digital one, or what reason do you have for not trying meat in the digital one? Because you know what, that's another thing. You find all this meats on sale, and I don't have that much freezer space. That's another thing I see when I move. I am trying to determine now, do I want an upright freezer, or do I just want another good freezer refrigerator? Because I'm thinking I want an upright freezer. I don't have that much stuff that goes and stays in the refrigerator that much. But I do need freezer space even when I'm baking, because when I'm baking, I bake a cake, I stick it in the freezer for at least 5 minutes. I heard get that icing on it. Um, because the digital one, it's all automatic, so you don't actually see the pressure and temperature. Okay, and I guess with the meat, you want to be extra sure because it is meat. But it sounds like getting the digital one would be good to start off with. Um, learning, learning. Matthew says upright freezer a lot easier to organize and get your food without to dig. Yes, I do not want a chest style for no. No, no, no. And you know what else? I do not understand. This is a whole different thing, but I do not understand these new refrigerator freezers where the refrigerator is on top and you have the double doors, but the freezer part is below and it's chest style. I don't want to get down on my knees to dig through nothing to find something out of my freezer. I don't understand those. I don't see why people would want them, but they apparently do. Yes, I agree, Matthew. 125%. Yes. So for meat alone, I want to be positive. Okay, that makes sure. Hey, Yummy Cooking. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming in. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, well, you know what I think? I think because the digital one does both, and I am so new to it, I think meat is going to be something that I do on the end, like after I'm confident with the water bath and I'm confident pressure cooking, like you said, soups with a little meat in it or vegetables or something like that, then I'll move into meats. So I think that I would probably want to start, sounds like a digital one would be good to start with and then move up. and move up. Absolutely. I got the digital because I cannot be standing in front of a stove watching that thing during gardening season. LOL. I get distracted easily. Digital one allows me to walk away. Yeah, that's another thing that I'm not crazy about the can. They say you got to stay there, you got to stay there, and it's a long time to stay there. So I agree with that one. And I typically don't go too far from my kitchen um, when I am cooking anything. But even when I'm cooking on top of the stove, I could be frying chicken. 9 times out of 10, I'm frying chicken and I'm doing something else too. Even if it's just washing clothes. When I'm going and I'm putting clothes from the washer to the dryer. But I still walk away for a minute, you know? And so, I mean, I'm right there. I can hear it. I'm coming right back. But I still walk away for a minute. I definitely walk away for a minute. Yes, 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 yes. So yes, yes, and you're right. During gardening season, it's a lot. You're just doing a lot. You're doing a lot. So I think I like that, and you know to come back and look at it and the time and things like that. So I definitely want to probably try the digital one. And I didn't know the digital ones did both. Mm-hmm. But I am definitely want to do that because I'm really interested in doing um, jellies, jams, because I can also control the sweetness in it. I like jellies and jams, but I don't like them to be super sweet either. I don't like them to be super sweet. And I definitely want to do my tomato paste and my tomato sauce because I use that a lot. All kind of sauces like that. So that's going to be amazing. Yes, yes, yes. Well, guys, I have kept you all for quite some time. Mm. Human says jellies are easy too. Yes, that's what I wanted. I want to do those. I want to do the jellies, and I want to preserve stuff like that, and the pasta sauce and the pestos and things like that. Because a lot of times you can cook almost anything and throw a sauce on it, and you can also with preserve them. You can have different flavors of sauces. You know, like I always tell on my channel, like that vodka sauce, so I can make my own. I want to do things like that, and I want to be able to grow it. So next year, that's why I'm working on the canner now and trying to learn, because next year I'm going to try to grow more determinate things, or either if I'm not growing determinate, I'm going to grow so much of it, like my peppers. I don't know if there are determinate peppers, but if there are, I'm gonna have them. I'm going to check it out, and if not, then crab apple jelly is pretty darn good. Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing. When you're doing it yourself, you can have amazing flavors. You can have all kind of flavors, because you can make it. You can have flavors that you make up yourself or whatever. It doesn't have to be your standard grape jelly or grape jam or something like that. Hey, John. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. How you doing? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. It's so good to see you. Rub meat with a piece of kiwi fruit and it becomes tender. Did you ever try that? No, I've never tried that. Never tried that, but I assume that the acidity in the kiwi is going to make it tender, because any pretty much acid will do that. I know lemons and lime do it, that's for sure. Yes, good info, Cherie. Thanks. It feels like the OG canners don't like trust the digital. That's true. It seems like that. But you know what? Just like anything else, just like even our kids, if we talk about some of the things we had to do, they looking at us like they crazy because they're all digital, or they're all, you know, internet and this, that, and the other. And they run an ad in newspaper. Newspaper, what's that? They don't know. So I can understand that. They do. Hey, Scarlett. Hello, hello, hello. How you doing, Scarlett? Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Yes, so I agree with that. They do. They don't even want to see the digital. But you know what? Um, I don't have a lot of time to be standing watching this thing either for hours. So I get that, and I would do it for my meat especially. But yeah, all the stuff that could be a lot if you can, and a lot. Pineapple also works. Let me see. Let me see. I listen to pineapple, but is more. Yes, yes, yes. I think any acidic fruit like that works. I know you can do it with oranges too, as well. Grapefruit and oranges too, as well. You can do it. You can do it with all of that. and it makes it wonderful. I'm listening and getting prepared for my weekend. Okay, Scarlett, I'm just glad to see you here. All right, yes, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, most acidic type fruit is good for tenderizing. That's for sure. That's for sure. You can either use the juice of it, or like you said, you can just rub it on the meat. Either one works well. Let's see. You can see with your eyes what the food is cooking as it is boiling like crazy when it comes out. There is an OG canner that did a scientific review of the digital. That's why I won't do meat. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, Ola Joe, for putting that link in there. I appreciate that. Yes, 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 yes. Ola Joe just put my join chef crew link in there. Anybody that wants to join the chef crew, feel free. Yes, yes, yes. And don't confuse a pressure cooker with the digital pressure canner. I won't. I have a pressure cooker, and I know it's not the same. I know it's not the same. And you know what? I had to get used to my pressure cooker. But once I got used to it, I don't use it for the same reason most people don't can in the summer. I don't use it very much in the summer. I might bring it out once. But in the wintertime, child, when I start cooking a lot of the more heavier meats and things like that, child, I am bringing out my pressure cooker for sure. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But kiwi gives less flavor to the meat than pineapple. Yeah, so if you want that flavor profile in there, though, that's where it works out. That's a good thing. Yeah, I have an old school pressure cooker. I have a Instapot pressure cooker. I have a digital one, Instapot pressure cooker, but I do my beans in there, and all that stuff is cooked in half the time. I do my beans in there, I do my ham hocks in there, I do anything that's heavy. I do anything heavy. I love my pressure cooker. I do. I like it. But you know what I don't like too much? I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't see the point of it unless you have to leave the house. And that's my crock pot. I do not see the point in it unless you have to leave the house, because what I can put in that pressure cooker, I mean, not pressure cooker, what I can put in my crock pot, I just put it on the stove. Same thing. I actually like cooking it better on the stove, but I understand I need to be in the house if I'm cooking on that stove as opposed to opposed to the crock pot. I can plug it up. I still won't leave my house for very long with a pressure cooker. I unplug my stuff. I'm not leaving my house with a pressure cooker going. I know people do it. They plug it up in the morning, come home, their food is done in the evening. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't leave something running like that. That's a small appliance that's actually going. It's different from having a small appliance plugged up. And even though it's plugged up, it is it's plugged up, but it is not on. It's just plugged up like a coffee pot. You might have a coffee pot on. It's plugged up, but it's not on. It's not running coffee all while you're gone. So that's the difference. Yes. Cherie says she uses a probe and collects heat through the cycle. She showed it for veggies and meat. It also pressure cans at 15 psi, and I only need 11 at my altitude, so that helps with confidence. Oh, okay. See, I don't know. I don't know what pressure I would need for my altitude yet. I haven't gotten that far in looking it up yet. Um, but I'm going to do it. I am going to do it for sure. Yes, it's something I need to learn. I agree. The pressure cooker makes more sense than the crock pot for my style. Yes. And on top of the stove for what I do for the crock pot. And then I got a whole appliance I got to clean and put away. I mean, I got to clean the pot. It's just simpler. It's just simpler, you know. It's just, and plus my crock pot makes noise. And when I say makes noise, it's like once it gets going, although I could have it on slow or low, once it gets going, it is it's typically the top starts to rattle. So if you're trying to read or be quiet, I'll put it on the stove. I don't hear that noise. Yes. I had someone tell me to just use the pressure cooker. I'm a scientist, so I don't listen to random people, but I know some people might hear pressure cooker and think they are the same. Yep, they will. I'm not a scientist, but they sure do. They think it's the same thing, and it's not. It's not at all. It is not at all. So many people do think. I don't know why my camera went dark all of a sudden, but it did. It did. um, my actual camera went dark, so I'm dark on the screen, looks like. But yeah, I do. People think they're interchangeable, but they're not. They're not at all. They are not interchangeable at all. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, guys, I've been on here for a little bit over an hour, so quite a bit over an hour, almost an hour and a half. So I'm not going to hold you all on a Saturday. I know we all have some things to do. Thank you all for coming. And anybody that's not connected to me over on Container Crops, that's my second channel, Container Crops, please check that out as well. I know a lot of you all are because you're my Container Crop fam. You're my cooking at Pam's Place fam, but you came from Container Crops. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. And I will see you next time. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. You guys have a blessed Saturday. I will, and you do the same, Cherie. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye.